It's time to make money your number one employee. This is the Extremely Opinionated podcast, where regular people get to share their extreme opinions about finance, investing, business, startups, and more. With your host, Dr. Travis Davis. He's always searching for his next ace.
What's going on, guys? Dr. Travis Davis here yet again with another episode of Extremely Opinionated, the podcast for hustlers. As you guys know, we record live from a Tesla, and this is my mom's first time. This is my mom.
Hi, guys.
Rochelle. This is her first time riding in a Tesla, so she's getting used to it. You probably didn't even know this right here.
Tesla's name is Rochelle.
Yeah. You get to name your cars. So that's what I made the name of it. But it's her first time checking it all out. How was the autonomous driving part of it to you? It driving itself?
Amazing. Unbelievable, actually.
Would you get in the car and allow it to drive for you? You ain't there yet?
I'm not there yet. I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, a lot of people ain't really with the car driving itself thing. So, I know you guys listen to me all the time, and you guys hear me talking about, finances and changing your life around. So you guys actually have the woman who created me right here. So we're gonna ask her some questions and hear the answers from her, so y'all can just stop hearing it from me, and you can really understand, and I don't be lying about what I'm talking about. But if you could tell us, like, where are you from? Tell us a little about yourself.
I was actually born in Washington, D.C., but I was raised in Culpeper County, Virginia.
Culpeper's in the country, guys. Like, it's really, really country. Ain't nothing out there. Well, they got some stuff out there now, but when I was growing up, it wasn't nothing out there, but some farmland, and I can't get with that. So, did you go to college?
No.
Did you graduate high school?
I did graduate from high school, and I went to, I guess you want to call it, I took a couple of medical classes, put it that way. I'm a certified medical assistant, and I have my radiology tech license.
So do you do that now?
No, I'm actually retired.
Retired? Did you retire by choice, or was it like a medical retirement?
Issues, yeah, medical.
And how long did you work for?
For one doctor, I worked for 29 years. I've been working since I was 17. 17.
I mean,
don't ask me my age.
I'm trying to think. Man, how long have I been working? I think I started working in
14. Couldn't wait to work.
Couldn't wait to go to work. I remember my first job was the Wendy's. Was that Wendy's? Wendy's was my first job. I had a moped that I used to get to work on, and used to park it in the back of Wendy's. I hated that job, but it brought in money.
And he always liked money.
I always liked money. I even, man.
You can tell him about the Venetian blinds?
Huh?
The little balancer things over the window?
You telling me something I don't remember. You tell us that.
I was too small to. You should remember it, Travis. He always wanted. Everybody gave him money, and we always thought he lost it. But back then, you had the little Venetian blinds where you could make them puffy, but you put newspaper in it or something to make them puffy, like the window designs.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
Then I go to paint his room and pull the blind down, and money flew everywhere. He was hiding his money. He wasn't losing it. He was hiding it.
Hey, I try to tell people I've always been about the money.
Saving money.
I just had I've seen everybody struggling when I was a kid, so I never wanted to spend the money. I figured it would come in play at some time. I ain't know when. I'd be telling my friends how I used to take money So my father used to come in drunk all the time. And when he was passed out drunk,
Get the money.
I'd go in those pockets. He wouldn't remember. So, he never did. I'm sure he got suspicious every now and then. But yeah, I wasn't giving that money up, so it don't matter.
And don't you remember the one time he did get suspicious? You knew he thought it did it.
Oh, my brother?
Your brother.
Well, yeah. He lived. Hey. I'm sure I got in trouble for some stuff that he did. Matter of fact, I did get in trouble for some stuff that he did. You remember that one? It was the one time, the first time that I cursed in front of you. You remember that time?
When you got the spanking with the brush?
No. When I got knocked out of that kitchen chair, you kept telling me I was lying, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not lying. It wasn't me. And you kept saying, "You's a damn liar. You did do it." And I finally, I don't know what got into me, and I go, "Bitch, I wasn't lying."
That was in Centerville, right? Or was in Gainesville?
That was in Gainesville. Knocked me clear out that chair.
I vaguely remember something.
Oh, I remember
guys
that.
were always doing something.
I know we were always into something. You remember that one time that we were outside the house? So guys, like I've been big into figuring out systems and how to break them, like all my life. Yeah, it goes from video games to people and their system. Any system that's around, like, is meant to be broke to me. So Walmart got built in Culpeper, and they had like this new big Walmart. It was like the mall for Culpeper. And when we went in there, of course, Walmart is a store. It has a system to make sure people don't take stuff. Well, I looked at their system and it wasn't good. So me, my brother, and my cousins, I think we left out of Walmart with about 6 guns, maybe 8. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was enough.
But we had the guns down our pants and our jacket. I still don't know how we got out with all those guns. And then maybe like 3 months later, we just shot a bunch of stuff up by then. But somehow, I don't even know what made you catch it. We was out front of the house, and I don't know why we were out front of my house with the guns in our hand. But she heard us or something talking about them.
Spanky was shooting them guns at you guys, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, my brother was look, if he found a way to make you run or torture you, he was gonna figure out how to do it and do it. Not just figure it out, he was gonna actually act on it and do it. But
Jesus.
She came outside. Ooh, she was hot when she seen them guns. I think my grandfather still got those.
I think he does.
Yeah, you need to get those back.
We took him to the country.
Yeah, I need those back. Took them down to Culpeper because I told you I ain't nothing to do in Culpeper. But yeah, that was our first time. Well, it wasn't our first time. It was our first time getting caught. Even with, I don't know if Aunt Doreen knows, but she used to go to Delaware or somewhere up north to get fireworks. And we used to ride with her. Man, I know that fireworks stand lost. And we used to steal all those firecrackers from up there.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, stole all those firecrackers. I ended up setting the woods on fire one time. Messing with them fire. There's a lot of stuff y'all probably ain't never heard of. But we did it.
I heard about the woods. I didn't know it was fireworks. I did know it was fireworks because you guys had the gas, the bottles with the gas and the fireworks.
Yeah, we thought if we put all the firework powder in the one container and we put a wick in it and light it, it would be a big kaboom, and that didn't happen. So then it kicked in well, why don't we put gas on it? Let's gas the thing up and then put the fire to it. And boy, oh boy, we never came to the conclusion that gas is gas and it can really start a fire. And then once we realized the fire was rolling, we tried to throw dry leaves on it to put it out, and that just started more of a fire. But man, those were fun days. Stupid, but fun.
Yes.
So what about your family wise? Is there anybody in your family that's financially wealthy or doing extremely well?
In my family.
Yeah, your close family, your side of the family.
Well, everybody's doing okay, but as far as like wealthy, no one that I know of.
Does anybody have their own business?
No.
So, what made you pick the profession that you decided to do?
I don't know. I think even when I was out, what I really wanted to do when I was small is I always said I wanted to be a pediatrician. Something about kids I like. Or I wanted to become rich and have a border baby home. I don't know what really persuaded me in that direction, but I just always wanted to do that.
What is a border baby home?
When the moms have the babies and leave them at the hospital, and they have to have some place to go.
See, I don't know nothing about kids.
Yeah, they used to be called border babies. I imagine they still do have the border babies, but that's what I always wanted to do.
That's my first time hearing that one. So, I know back when you were growing up, the value of the dollar was way different than what it is now. What are some things you could get with like $10 back then?
Shit, a lot of stuff for $10. I mean, back then you had penny candy. Now the penny candy is what, 25 cents for a little piece of candy. Well, it used to be a penny then. You could get a lot of things for $10. It's totally different back then than it is today, as far as the value of the dollar.
It's true. It's completely different. So, with you coming up through that time frame, did price adjust? Like, did your job get a raise to help with that difference, or did you really notice?
Well, the pay and the economy kind of, everything changes with time. I don't think that you'll ever be able to truly say that your income is going to match what it takes to live in this world, because they'll never match the economy. Cost of living raises is never enough because they don't actually pay you enough. This world is set up for you to have to work forever unless somebody like you gets smarter.
Hey,
But when I was growing up, the things that you guys have available to you, that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
You got technology, you've got a lot of different things that's way more advanced. You're trying to make me tell my age on the slide, right?
Nah, I wouldn't do that. But I know, times have changed, and things are ran differently. Does that feel like an overwhelm to you sometimes? Like with all the new technologies that's going on, I'm sure there's technology out here that you probably have no clue on how to use or what to do. But does that overwhelm you sometimes? Does it make you nervous with all this new technology that's going on?
To a certain aspect, but if you put your mind to it, you can learn anything that you really want to.
That is true.
Because I'm willing to, if I had to, but I don't have to do anything I don't want to now. But if I had to, of course I could. You can learn it. Anybody can learn it if it's something that you really want to do. But there is things that's overwhelming you're not sure of, because technology is advancing every day.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you married?
Yes, I am.
So of course,
Not to your dad.
That's true. Well, that was the spot. I was gonna say you've been divorced, so you went through that spill. What was the reason? Why did you decide to get divorced?
You don't really want to tell that, do you?
Hey, we tell. Look, this podcast is called Extremely Opinionated. We get extreme opinions.
Let's put it in a nice way. It wasn't meant to be. You could tell your story that you know of if you want, but it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't. But I can say I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to, second time around, to be a winner.
Do you remember because I don't remember, so I gotta add. You know how old I was when you got divorced? I don't know.
You was getting your learner, so you had to be what? 15.
Something like
14,
that.
15.
14, 15. Yeah, I say it because, I mean, you know, a lot of people say divorces affect kids. I think I'm just a different kid, but it didn't affect me at all. I could care less. But
You don't think so?
no, I mean, I didn't. It was,
Travis, you always was a loner anyway.
yeah, I have been by myself. But I was just, hey, I think because I was the young. So growing up, I was the youngest before like some of my younger cousins came in, but they were like so far young that the older cousins were like well in their teens. So I was like 5 or 6 years younger than everybody else, and it was just me.
Right.
So everybody would be running from me, and then of course as I got older, I got fatter. So they were really running from me. And then I remember the first day I tried to go play football, and they told me I was too fat. That crushed my heart. I tried to play like little league football, and back then it was a weight requirement. Like it's not like that anymore. But I was too big to play at my age, and oh my God, I didn't know what to do. Like I couldn't play nothing. Like that's how big. Like, and I just kept getting bigger. Of course, to your parents' eyes, you ain't big. They ain't saying.
I had no idea until I saw a picture. I had no idea that you were. I'm like, Travis was chunky.
Like, it was so bad how big I was that you remember that. So my mom worked a lot. My parents worked, so usually after school or something, we had, was her name Mary?
Which one?
The babysitter in Centerville. That was down the street. I can't. We used to go to this white lady's house. Myrna. And we would be there for a while until she got home, and then we would come there. Until we got older, then we just was at home. So I used to be so hungry that I would cry until she gets home, and I would be crying while she was there until she finished fixing the food.
Oh my God. Do you remember that really?
Yeah, I remember that. We had like a ledge over the counter, and I used to sit under that ledge and just cry until the food was done. She was like, I'm trying to get the food.
And you remember how you wanted your plate fixed?
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Don't put a little bit on it. That was a snack. You want the whole plate full of. That's how come you got chunky.
I'm sure. And then we had I had another problem that I would pick up cups and just drink it, and I drunk out of everybody's cup. Like I'm talking liquor and all. It doesn't matter. Like my dad would have beer in his cup, I would be crushing beer, and it would piss my mom off so bad. And she kept calling people like, how do I stop him from picking up all these cups and just drinking out of them? And nobody could give her a solution. So she came up with her own solution.
Yeah, my own.
And,
you remember that?
oh yeah, I remember that one. It was burnt into me. I can't not remember. So we're sitting there, and her solution was to put laxative in a cup. But she didn't just put some laxative in the cup. You put almost the whole bottle in the cup, didn't you?
I put enough.
Man, she put this laxative in the cup. I started drinking that thing. It was tasting good. Did you put soda? I think it was Coke or something. I had an addiction to Coke. So she put the laxative in there. I crushed that cup, and boy, about 5 minutes later, it started coming. But that solved the solution for me ever drinking.
Picking up another cup.
Never picked up another cup.
Never happened again.
And yeah, that one still hurt my stomach till the day. Now that I think about it.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I used to say. I couldn't say nice, so I say nice. I don't know how that thing came about. So I know when the divorce happened, we had you asked us to want to come stay with you or my father. I chose my father only because of financial situations. I didn't want to be a burden on you, although I know you ain't a burden.
How could you say that? Because
I was a kid.
You guys never really knew. I handled everything. Your dad. Don't you remember him telling you?
Yeah,
That he never put a nickel toward you guys? You don't remember that. Why did you think you would be a burden? You've never seen anybody do anything but me.
Yeah, I know, and I watched you for a long time go through checkbooks and budget, like you budgeted the checkbooks every month to a T. I wish I could do that part. I'm still struggling on that part. But a lot of stuff that I seen as a kid, like it was money related to me. In my mind, that's what I was just looking at. So when I seen the books and stuff, you know, I remember us going from nothing to something to nothing to something. And you know one thing that always happened when we got to something? Yeah, I got more cars. Like, that's something that I do remember. You remember when we got to the new house in Gainesville, probably a little bit after that, you got that Eddie Bauer expedition? Or was it a it was expedition, right?
It was Explorer, then I got expedition.
Yeah. But we always had cars, and it was just always bills to me that I kept seeing like this. It's just always bills.
But then at that time, I mean, we were kind of comfortable, and that wasn't due to anybody but me.
I feel it.
But
to me, comfortable. And that's
type of comfortable is not our type of comfortable, because you see, you're used to your style, your lifestyle, but it was comfortable for me, because if you seen how hard where I started at to where I was at that time, that was comfortable to me. I had you two boys by myself.
Oh, I know.
And everything had to fall on me.
Oh,
So it was comfortable to me. I got into a stage where I was comfortable.
And that's the part that I think a lot of us are, I mean, I want to say a lot of us are stuck in, but a lot of us are trained that way because that's what we know. Nobody teaches us anything. Did you ever have anybody teach you finances growing up?
Nope, taught myself. I taught myself what I knew.
Right. And I essentially, I taught myself. But what I realized is, like, the bills were always there. So my comfortable now is not having bills. Like, can I pay for it in cash instead of needing to go to work every day for 365 days to make sure that I have enough to cover my bills and to keep doing this year after year after year.
But see, you gotta understand, Travis, that's your mindset now. When I was coming up as a small child, and even to now, as long as you can make ends meet and your bills are paid, you don't have to struggle. You don't have to worry about where you're gonna get your next meal, what's gonna happen next. That's comfortable to us.
I agree. And
times change, generational, you know, it changes.
That comfortable stays. And that part hasn't changed. Like, majority of the people that I know are still in that motto of being comfortable, and as long as I can make ends meet, everything is okay. But a lot of them aren't prepared for the what if factor of what if that comfortable job goes away. Like, I don't know. Did you ever experience a situation when you were in your comfortable stage that something happened, and like losing a job or a medical situation or anything that all of a sudden changed your comfortable overnight, that you had to get uncomfortable and make that back comfortable? Anything like that ever happened to you? And I say that because, like, I've had friends who were comfortable and then that comfortable job went away. And 2 months later.
Well, and you know what happens when that happens, actually happen to people? I think that's people living above their means. As long as you stay within your means and you keep in your mind that job is not going to be here forever, and you've got to have enough time in between that job, survive, and to find another job. And the goal to that, and I've always felt, as long as you are able to keep at least 6 months to a year finances available and clear, that gives you time to find something else.
True.
And I think it's a lot of people think like that.
There is.
You know, and believe me, I went through a time where, you know, through the learning process of actually growing up, even though I had kids, I didn't think like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before you were actually born, or just before you was born. I've been at that point where I didn't know where I was going to get my next meal for me or my baby, your brother actually. And one thing I can say is through faith. I made it through. And after I made it over that hurdle, through that, I learned something new. I'd never let that happen again. And I've never let that happen again. I mean, I've always made sure, you know, that you guys, I might couldn't get it when you asked for it, but you never wanted for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
True.
You never wanted for anything, and I did that on my own.
So you definitely held it down. I'll give you that. Let me ask you. Well, I tell people this and they don't believe me because I think I have something here. But did we have ghosts growing up?
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
We had one. Hold on for a second. Hey, plug that up. So we had our first apartment was in seven corners.
Oh yeah, that was before you. You talking about the Damien with your brother?
Right. So Damien was the evil ghost.
Yeah, he did a lot of evil things, and we ended up having to move out of that apartment. And later on, I found out a little child was killed in that apartment, which that's probably what that was.
I heard Damien killed goldfish and everything.
Yep.
The ghost.
Yeah, Damien did a lot of things that your brother got a spanking for. Back then, guys, it was okay to spank.
Oh, it's still okay to spank. Jordan, though, he get it. And then we left there. I remember saying, "Don't look back at that apartment."
Yeah.
When we was leaving there.
Right.
And then was it Centerville next after that?
Centerville. That was the townhouse in Centerville that was real. that one was really haunted.
Yeah, we had a lot of ghosts in that one. I think it was like a family.
Well, it wasn't just our house. It was quite a few houses, but that particular development in that horseshoe that we lived on was built on a plantation cemetery.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't just our house. It was a couple of different houses. Myrna had them, Carol had them, Elaine had them, and they were families.
Look, the ghosts were cool with me. Like, me and the ghosts actually had a great connect. I remember the first time I had seen them. I can't remember, they came from behind somebody or something like that.
No, they were standing when you came up to the top of the steps. The first door to the left was my room.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was straight across to the right, and Spanky's was just the next one to the right. You were standing in my doorway, and you saw them coming up the stairs behind you, more or less.
And I hauled ass. Ran into your room so fast.
Yeah, that was the first time, and I saw them a long time before you guys. As a matter of fact, when I went to see that house, I had given up the apartment that we were living in, and they opened the door, and I was instantly scared. I instantly felt something in that townhouse, but I didn't have a choice but to take it. So
the ghost was cool with me. They ain't never bothered me. They did torture my father.
That's the only person that did it.
Man, he would come in that thing drunk, and those ghosts would go to work on him. I remember one time my mom and she took us, and we might have went to Culpeper or something. Mm-hmm. And we came back home, and as soon as you opened the door, it was like sheets and a blanket set up because he done built a tent by the front door because he was too scared to go in the house from the ghost.
Yep.
But it was a shower door in your room that they could never keep shut. That's how we really realized it was ghosts. Like, you would go in there, shut the shower door, and about a minute later, sometimes 5 minutes later, you would hear that thing pop back open. Like, hey, don't shut this shower door. This is our shower door.
Well, you remember we could actually hear them.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty cool. I was gonna say, I think I got one in here or something. I don't know. Every now and then I be hearing people walk around, but hey, I think the ghost just stayed with me or something. Like, maybe I got a ghost spirit with me that just rides with me everywhere I go.
Well, if you remember those, the ghosts in that house, and then people probably think we crazy, some old damn ghost, Travis.
It's extremely opinionated. I mean,
But they weren't bad. And the reason why they did that to your father, because they were really protective of us.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what they was doing. But you remember when all the belts got hid, so you couldn't do no beatings?
Yeah, that was to get your brother.
She went to the neighbor and snatched the belt off him. It was a redneck white dude too.
Snatched that belt off.
Snatched that belt off him. Hid all the belts in the house. So she fixed that, like, oh, we gonna get some belts out this house. That was the funniest one. And then the one time, you remember when I had the big lump on my forehead from getting hit with a baseball bat?
Yeah.
Ooh, that thing, I had like a Hakeem Rockman, if y'all haven't seen the boxer.
How did you get hit with that bat? I don't remember how you got hit with that bat, but I remember that lump.
I was out. I can't remember. Yeah, I was gone. Then we, so once we got a little older, I told you, like, she was always working to make sure, you know, she could provide. So a lot of the times was like us freestyling and just living. And, you know, I was following my older brother's footsteps, which those weren't good. But you remember the one time that I can't remember if I think it was you, but what we used to do, so our apartment was like you would come down to the bottom and you could go downstairs to the apartment, or you could walk up these 2 sets of side steps that took you to like the upstairs apartments that were like 2 floors. So our apartment was on the end, and there was a balcony on it that you could slide down this pole, and it would take you like to the back of the apartment complex, and you'd be on the ground, like right, and it was a big open field in the back of our apartment complex. So one day, what we used to do before she got home, because we would know every time when she gets home, we would just keep the back door open, have friends over, we'd be doing everything. And I guess, do you know why you decided to come home that day early?
I don't. I think we got off early because of it might have been that voting day or something like that, because we never got off early
Never got off early until this day. So she smoked cigarettes too, so we would take all her butts that she had in the cigarettes and we'd smoke all the butts. She didn't finish all of the cigarette, you know, we had to take it down to the filter. So we would be smoking a cigarette. So she came home this one day and we had people over there, and the curtains is blowing out the back. And she pops up in that house. Everybody runs and tries to slide down the back pole. She's like, y'all are stupid. I already know everybody in the house. I seen them slide down the pole. I'm like, dang. Yeah, that was a funny time.
Yeah, I remember that. Then you remember the little girl got scared and told everything that y'all were doing?
Told everything.
What was that girl? Do you remember her name?
Nope. Only girl I remember is Colleen from Gainesville. Although I don't remember what she looked like.
I don't remember either.
The white girl that used to live next door. Yeah. When we moved to Gainesville, there wasn't nobody out there. I thought we had made it. You know, that's why I got this townhouse built.
Why?
Because I thought, like, when you make it, you get a townhouse built with a deck and stuff on the back, like how we did. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's why I got this townhouse built. But once we went from that apartment in Seven Corners to Centerville, then to Gainesville.
Seven Corners was when Spanky was little. When we left and moved to Centerville. No, when I went to Centerville, I was living in Bailey's Crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
and you were a few months old then. Actually, about a month old when we went to Centerville. Then we left Centerville and went to Gainesville.
Mm-hmm. You remember my first fight in Centerville when I left that boy in the bushes at the school bus?
Yeah. Do you remember what it was about?
You
was taking it for your brother.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, because his older brother had a problem.
Right.
Yeah, his older brother said something, and his younger brother was saying something, so I beat his younger brother up and put him in the bushes. Or was it the older brother I beat up?
It was the older brother.
Yeah, it was the older brother.
Right.
I beat the older brother up and left him in the bushes at the bus stop. that was funny.
That's all right, I'll get him.
Then we ended up moving to Gainesville, and it wasn't nothing out there but our house. I mean, nothing.
Nothing.
And Wendy's. And that's when I started.
In the gas station.
In the gas station. And that's when I started grinding, making money by any means necessary. I don't even know if you know this. Do you know that I've been selling drugs out of that house? And
your brother started you doing that. And guess what? I did not know that. I didn't know that until when you guys were grown is when I found out a whole lot of things that was going on.
Hey, that is why you need to be home when your kids get home.
I agree.
But at the time, she had to make things happen and do what it do. But that's the reason why I want to make sure I am financially free, because I know my child. Like, when I have a child, I know he gonna get into everything, because look at me. I got into everything as a kid. Thank God, stuff worked out.
A lot of your getting into, I think you were coerced into doing that kind of stuff. You was following instead of being a leader like you are today.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I was following, but I followed smartly.
Yeah, because you ain't get in trouble with it.
No, I ain't getting in trouble with it. And so once we got to the Gainesville, I know a lot of people, definitely with their children. I've been mean. This is one that I really wanted to ask you. A lot of people wouldn't allow their kids to be raised by another person, let alone another family. So essentially, I used to go during the summer times and live with my aunt up here in Maryland, where I am now. And I think that's what helped me understand, like, I was getting the illegal side from my brother and then the legal side from my aunt and uncle. But a lot of mothers wouldn't allow their son to just go be developed by somebody else. But why did you allow that to happen?
Well, your Aunt Renee have always, from day one, from your brother, have always loved her nephews. She always wanted to be a part of them. And you wouldn't went anywhere else, but I knew that you or your brother was safe with her and being with her and your grandma or whatever. That's why I decided to do it. And then you always wanted to go. Your brother had that same opportunity.
Yeah.
He had it before you did. He just wouldn't do the right things. But you, on a different hand, you liked it.
Yeah, I think it was because it was
and it was more opportunity.
Yeah.
It was something for you to see other than I had to work and you guys sitting at home all the time. And your Aunt Renee was good to you guys.
Oh yeah.
And still is and will always be. So I mean, that's something I can't deny. So, and then she always wanted to take you guys on vacation with her and do stuff like she was good to you guys. So I wouldn't have been a fool to deny her that as an aunt. And then now you guys have the opportunity to see something other than just to sit at home.
Right. I wish I was older when she was taking us, when she was offering to take us places, because at that age I couldn't go a lot of the places. But I went to some.
You guys had your first Disney trip with her.
But I couldn't get on no rides.
You couldn't get on no rides. You had your first skiing trip with her. Everything that she could do that was suitable around in your age group and whatever, that's what she did.
Oh yeah, she managed.
She was good to you. So I mean, that's why I let you go. It wasn't just anywhere.
Yeah, and I say that because a lot of people wouldn't allow that to happen. They wouldn't allow another family member to teach their children something. And so I mean, I commend you on allowing that to happen, because I see people out here all the time like, nah, he ain't staying with my child ain't staying with them for a couple weeks, let alone the whole summer. And I never understood why, if somebody else is at a place that you aren't,
why not?
right? Because
Why not?
I mean, everybody knows some things that you don't. So
Right.
If you can see that somebody's at a better place where you will want to give your offspring the opportunity, like, I think that you should do it.
Right.
And let them develop and become creative.
Right. And it wasn't just, your Aunt Renee. Well, I mean, even with my siblings, your Aunt Doreen and your Aunt Riri and them, if they, they were doing something positive, your Aunt Doreen, you just go stay with your Aunt Doreen sometime on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work.
Right.
So at least I know you guys weren't getting into things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I never seen a problem with it. It was an opportunity. And as you can see, turned out to be a great opportunity for you. I mean, what better place for you to be?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Hey, look, like I said, I appreciate it all. Then I know once I got into that lifestyle, because I worked at my aunt's. That's one thing. She provided me with a better job, and once I started seeing that I could make more money, everything just started skyrocketing after that. Even when I came home, I was just always working. I don't remember when I haven't been working. Like you said, I started at 14 and I'm 14, 13 something. I ain't even looked back since then. Now I will say some of the places I worked, if they did me wrong, I figured out how to make it right. So we ain't gonna go into those details, but Wendy's, they paid me when they didn't pay me. So
Wendy's paid a whole lot of teas when they didn't pay them.
Look, once I started figuring out how much a number 1 and a number 3 costs, I just didn't ring nothing up, since I was so good at that age at work that the manager actually just let me run the show by me. Like, I wasn't supposed to be working as long as I was working.
Nope.
And I wasn't supposed to be managing night shit. Like, on the weekends, because I could only work the weekends.
Yeah.
I would work from Friday, I would work that night, because Wendy's closed at like 2, 3 in the morning. And I would work all the way through. Saturday come, same thing, like all day long. And that's when I really got fat too, because I was eating triple cheeseburgers from Wendy's. It was bad, but it was good all at the same time.
Right.
So then I know once we got, my bad, checking that message. So I know after that, how did you feel, after divorce, not having your kids around?
Not good. And I still go through stages of not feeling good about it. But I had to do what I had to do. And, even before I decided to get a divorce, I don't know if you remember me sitting down talking to you and your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Asking how did you feel about it, whatever.
And I remember I said, "What up?"
Mm-hmm. But you guys knew the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You knew the situation. It wasn't, when my mom passed away on December 20th, we decided not to bury her until after Christmas. And I don't know if you remember that Christmas Day. Your father told me this time next year. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
I bet he does. I want you out of here.
Dang.
I knew it was time for me to go then.
Dang. Jeez. No, didn't know that one.
And I hadn't, I'll never forget it.
I could imagine that you wouldn't.
Yeah, I bet your brother does.
Probably.
You would, yeah, you would. How old were you then?
I don't know. I don't know where I
12,
developed
13?
this.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I don't know when or where I developed this I don't give a fuck attitude. But
You know why I think the reason why you got that attitude? Because you saw a lot of things that I didn't subject you to. Your father did, because you stayed with him. You went everywhere with him. You was the only one he was willing to take with him. And I think you were more of a scapegoat, according to some of the stories John Riri told me that you told her.
Probably. I've seen a lot. I'm trying to tell you, I've seen a lot of stuff.
It wasn't my idea. I was just happy that he wanted to be involved with one of you or your brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I let you go with him.
Mm. Yeah.
But if I had known, it'd never happened.
When I say I've seen a lot, I was driving at 13, 14. My brother was getting high, and I was the only one that was sober that could drive, and he put me behind the wheel on the highway at 13.
Believe me, some of the things that you guys have told me
Oh, yeah.
that you've done, if I, myself as a mother, had known, I'd have been crushed.
Yeah.
Both of you lucky to still even be here.
Yeah. Look, I tell people all the time, I have escaped death at least 10 times. Right? From younger all the way through college, definitely through college. But I made it, and the only thing that I can think is the man upstairs is watching out for me because he got something bigger for me to do. That's the only explanation that I can come up with. Other than that, I know I should have been gone. But I'm here, to continue the story and keep walking in that path.
Yeah, I don't like telling these stories because they're not bad, but to be truthful about it, they're not good either.
No, they're not good.
Because I can't figure out a way to put. I don't like to make anyone seem like they're bad people, not in the public eye.
Look.
And I don't. I mean, it is what it is, and
It's life.
And I don't like hurting people's feelings, and I don't know who will see this podcast, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't worry about those in 2019. Yeah.
I do, because I don't like to hurt feelings, and I don't like to hurt people.
Well, just blame it on me. Yeah, blame everything on me, because I'm okay with everything.
I'm not gonna, look, you guys are going through enough in your life. I'm not blaming anything on you, and I'm not putting no more stress on you than what you already have. So no.
I'm fine. You ain't never got to worry about this over here. Look, everybody talk about me. It ain't nothing new. So it is what it is. So did you ever have? I remember this. I don't know if you've ever really paid attention to stuff that I've been doing, like this townhouse thing, but you remember my truck that I had, that Cadillac truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I got that truck is because I kept hearing Granddaddy tell you Ford money can't buy a Cadillac.
No. Pinto money can't. No, how did that thing go? You can't buy a Cadillac with Pinto money. You don't know what a Pinto is. It's a Ford. It was a Ford Pinto. Yeah.
So I'm like, when I started getting money coming in, I'm like, let me get a Cadillac, since all I can remember Granddaddy saying, you can't buy a Cadillac with that money. I'm like, well, we got the money now. Let me get this Cadillac. That was another dumb decision that I did with my finances. Look, I taught myself everything, so I just learned as I was going. And once again, Cadillac truck rims was the thing to do, so I got it. But thank God, I've always been saving money, so I've never been in the hole. But I did get that Cadillac just for that.
Damn.
Yeah, it was the dumbest purchase that I've bought, I think. But it is what it is. So now that I'm at this stage, I teach people about making money. Sorry, y'all just seen me flicking off. That was the president. My bad.
This development?
Yeah, me and him. I hate that he waved at me. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, he messed my whole train of thought up. But now that I've been at this stage, I know a lot of people think that my aunt has given me money to help me get here, and that you guys have provided. But have I ever gotten any assistance from anybody.
None that I know of. Y'all Renee gave you that one start, guiding you guys in the right direction.
And I ain't looked back since.
All right.
Hey,
But you got to give her that credit.
Oh.
She definitely guided you guys in that right direction.
I will definitely.
And it was up to you what you did with it. That's for sure. You know, but as far as I've never known anyone. You didn't get it from me. That's for dang on sure.
She blessed me with a job, and that's a blessing in itself. She blessed me with a job, and she put a roof over my head, and
Until
like
you
you
get,
said,
get on your feet, and
Yeah.
once you got on your feet, you've been running ever since.
I've been on an elite hustle, and we ain't looked back. I mean, literally, like, I figured all of this stuff out just by doing. And you know, I encourage you guys, like, just try new things, and everything will fall into place eventually. If you keep faith and believe that everything will work out, it'll all work out for you. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people on Extremely Opinionated? Do you want to give an extreme opinion before we get off here?
Like, on what?
About anything. You got an extreme opinion, politics, the way the world's moving, technology, any extreme opinion that you can think of off the top of your mind?
My extreme opinion is always, no matter what happens in life, always remember one thing. Keep God first, and with faith, any and everything is possible.
This is true.
Any and everything is possible.
Hey, that's what's gotten me here, just faith and nothing else. I didn't know anything before, so I'm literally just using the internet and believing that he's putting the right stuff in front of me and taking it from there. But yeah, that's our extreme opinion. I appreciate you for coming on this episode. You guys got to hear it from the goat's mouth, the creator's mouth over here. A little more about me and where I came from, and about my mother, where she came from. This will probably be the only family member that you're going to see on a podcast, because I don't talk to any of the rest of them. But that's a whole nother story.
Let me get you on Riri.
Oh yeah,
So
we
you can
can
have double seats.
Yeah,
They
so
were like, what is going on?
she has a twin sister, Aunt Riri. When I say to talk to other family, I'm talking about like my close family, right? You know, father, brother, things like that. But Aunt Riri, that's her twin sister. My mom is a twin. She makes some amazing taco salad. I haven't had it in a while, but matter of fact, she can't even make it for me now because she got all that meat and stuff in there. So I can't even eat that. But yeah, she has three sisters
And one brother.
The brother's the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
The baby boy, still the baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember growing up, before we get off here, she used to leave me at his house, her younger brother's house, and it took me a while. She would try to leave me places, and I would cry until they took me back to her. Like, don't you think you gonna leave me? It took a good while.
A long time. The only person could calm you down was Uncle Tony.
Yeah, Uncle Tony was the only one. Yeah, man.
God, I remember I had to get up in the middle of the night. You went to stay with Grandma with everybody else. Only stay at Grandma's house. Whole hour ride. 1 o'clock in the morning. Tony had to get out of his bed and come and hold you until I got to you.
Hey, somebody better do something, you know.
Get me back to my mommy.
Me back. But that's all that I have for you guys today on Extremely Opinionated. Make sure that you go check out the show notes to find out more information. It will be on extremelyopinionated.com, as well as you could listen to some other episodes. And most of all, if you want to change your lifestyle, like if you want to make a change, if you want to learn something new, I'm willing to teach you everything that I've learned, so it won't take you 15 years like it took me. It'll only take you about a year, if that, to learn this new information that has enabled me to become successful. And not just that, it's enabled me to help others become successful. And once again, your measurement of success is something that we have to figure out for you, because your success isn't my success. They just don't match. but we will figure out what success is for you, and we'll accomplish that and knock it out. So if you are interested in that coaching and that service, make sure you visit hustlethenet.com. As well as you could follow me on Instagram, official Travis Davis, and Facebook, Travis Davis. If you want my one-on-one coaching service, all right, if you would like to have me sit down with you one-on-one and build and develop your business, if you have one already, or if you don't have one and you would like to start to develop a business or a brand, go to officialtravisdavis.com. You'll see some resources there, as well as you can message me directly. We'll set up a business intensive call. It'll take about 2 hours for that call, and I will actually come up with the entire game plan for you. And then you can either execute it yourself, or you can have my team execute it for you. Once again, visit officialtravisdavis.com and send me a message if you are interested in that. Other than that, we will have another episode of Extremely Opinionated coming out next week. And Mother, I thank you for being on the show yet again. And it's my birthday too, guys.
Yes, happy birthday.
So you guys see, I'm still working and grinding on the birthday. It just don't stop because it's a birthday. So I'll talk with you guys later on. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. We got to still do some business, and it's just another day to make money and hustle. So I'll talk with you guys later. Have a good day.